Like Huey's infected you both with a raging case of vagina.
Welcome to another G&T review of The Boys, Season 2, Episode 2, with co-host TRCAP.
Hello.
And special guest and fellow YouTuber, Pendulum. How we doing, sir?
I am quite well.
As you guys know, Episode 2 has a ton of development for our characters and progressing the plot along. What do you guys think of it?
So far, I'm a bit worried about where they're going to be taking Stormfront, but right now I'd say that Season 2 is pretty solidly written overall. I can't really think of anything that's terribly wrong with it.
I don't know. I don't think so.
What about you, Tom?
Yeah, in terms of well, for the first 3 episodes, I think the second episode is the most strongly written. It's very story and character.
With that.
I guess I'm going to be in the minority here as I have a couple plot issues. I don't have any issues with the development or world building, of course, but there's a couple things. And I guess we'll just start from the beginning here. As Episode 2 opens up with Butcher writing down all of the details of the house that he just saw Becca at.
That was interesting. I see what the idea is, that he was going for write it all down before he forgot.
I found a couple of details interesting on his piece of paper. Like one of them was no sidewalk, tall pine trees. Like these are things that he could identify the house with, or at least a general location to start narrowing it down. And I don't know if you guys want to jump into it, but jumping ahead, where is she anyways?
Yeah, like some incredibly secretive place that's specifically made from vault, because if it's like a regular street, then it must be able to be, found.
From the looks of it, it's some sort of gated community, like there's a giant
that's what I'm thinking it is.
Homelander refers to it as a
pretty prison.
I imagine it has to be somewhere close by.
Is she inside or outside the gate?
Outside.
Yeah, I got the impression of outside, but maybe
because she said that if they didn't do anything about it, she was going to go on the run, so...
That's right, yep.
She's obviously heavily monitored, like there's cameras all over the house, so they know when she's going in or out.
Sure.
My guess is some kind of witness protection program type of thing. She's in the public, but she's probably not going by the name Becca. She's probably assumed a new identity, as it were.
That was the deal.
Absolutely. And then there's some mention between her and Homelander of
A deal that is alive and well and running around as free as a goddamn bird.
And I imagine that's referring to Butcher as Homelander drops him off in Fort Wayne.
Yep.
And then, of course, Butcher finds out he's wanted for murder in the Old Corral or whatever fucking restaurant it was. And we get a little bit of information for all the wine moms out there. Theo is okay. The little baby was dropped 17 miles away.
Yes.
Yeah, I picked up on that. That was interesting. It's like, oh, okay, so
I think it would have been a much darker turn, though, had, like, Butcher blown up the baby and Homelander left it.
Yeah, because I figured Homelander really doesn't care about that child, and I thought he would have just left the baby to die.
Yeah, he didn't like the
child. He fucking resented it the entire season 1. So yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I think that was just a checkbox
to make sure. Yeah. Like, oh, don't let the soccer moms get mad at us.
Exactly.
They'll be offended.
So, Will, I gotta know, when Kamiko wrote boy, girl, boy, and circled boy, how long did it take you to figure out what that meant?
Actually, up to the point where they revealed it was her brother. I'll admit I didn't know what she was getting at there.
I got it right then and there. Tom claims that he got it before.
No, I didn't get it like straight away. It was just before the reveal, like when she kills that Liberation Army guy when he rips his head off.
That's when it solidified it for me anyways. But as soon as she circled boy and then next to girl, that's when I was like, yep, that's her fucking brother. Has to be. With Butcher coming back, Huey is like not okay with it. Obviously, because
Yeah.
he thinks that Butcher killed Stillwell and that he left them for dead. Like, that's an objective fact. He left them for whatever fate that they were going to end up in.
Noted.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see the end game of it. Obviously, we talked about it in the first episode that Huey's arc is solidifying himself as more proactive, a bit more of a leader, but also kind of stepping on Butcher's toes while he does it.
How I feel this is going to go is there's going to be some kind of conflict where Butcher getting to his wife is going to prevent Huey from achieving one of his goals. Because I don't know if he's still going for A-Train. He still seems like he's pretty
Yeah, it
pretty
seems like
on
he's
the-
more invested in taking down Vought at this point than
kind of, yeah.
Train. He's not even mentioned it or looked him up or anything. I think when he was trying to save his life, that was the end of it.
If they were going to go with the whole fact that the heart attack scene at the end of season 1 was the conclusion to that arc, I would have wanted to see a little bit more. But
Yeah, that can't be the end of it, because if that was, that'd be a very fast 180.
Homelander plays ball with his boy, you know, as men do.
Just wholesome father-son time.
Yeah, and they go out
Sure.
and they play with the World Series ball, just like his old man. And he says, you know, like all fathers do, use your powers.
I remember those days.
Yep.
yeah, Homelander's losing it. he's losing it big time. I think that Stillwell was very much the anchor that was keeping him from not going completely cuckoo for his Cocoa Puffs, and now that she's not around anymore, it's
yeah, well, he's an interesting one because he's desperate for a loving family, and he's looking in all the wrong places. He's looking at Becca and his son, who are gonna resent him. He's looking at the Seven, who don't trust him. He's looking at Stillwell, who was terrified of him.
I liked how going back to season 1, I liked the scene where Dr. Guy, whose name escapes me, said that you are my greatest failure, and you just see that destruction in Homelander's face. I think that's probably one of the bigger driving forces for him in this season.
We thought it was best that he have as ordinary of a childhood as possible.
We?
And then we have the Deep. The Deep goes through
Deep.
quite a bit of character development here as he goes through a gateway, man.
Yeah, fucking has an emotional ride.
I'm kind of torn on the Deep, honestly, because it's just like, yeah, I know he's supposed to like, haha, look at the funny discount Aquaman, but it's just like, man.
I think he's a little bit more than that. I think he's really dumb, right? So I think he's playing like the dumb pretty boy who's always been coasting life on his looks, and he's obviously has his own deeper issues. What gets me though is what's up with Fresca? Is that the Kool-Aid?
It could be.
I don't know. They're doing something with this whole collective thing and all that nonsense. This is like,
Church.
this cult thing, and I don't know. Okay, this could either be really good or it could be a gigantic disaster, and I don't know. I'm kind of worried for our good friend the Deep. Not so much like in universe, but more so from a writing perspective. It's like, God damn it! I feel like they can do a little bit more with his character, like that scene where he was sitting there talking about how when he was a kid, he would walk by the pet store and the goldfish would be begging him for help. It's just like, I'd like to see a little bit more of that.
Absolutely. Like my favorite moment with him is when he's shaving his body. I know I mentioned it in the last one, but it was symbolic of him like rejecting who he was and becoming someone new. And then they're like, just kidding, you're gonna be really confused now, and you're gonna unknowingly join this cult, and you know. So, I don't know, I'm not sure I like it entirely.
I'm scared that they're wasting him away to be a joke, which, I mean, I get it, but...
Well, yeah, that is the running joke, is like all of his companions, which would be like you know, the fish and the dolphin and the lobster, they all died.
It's in the trailers. It's fine.
I didn't
Friends
appreciate
dies.
that. I don't like spoilers in a trailer. But
Yeah, I don't. They should have saved that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like the Deep, but I am cautiously optimistic about where his character's going.
I don't know what the fuck you want from me.
what do you guys think? Do girls get it done?
No, fuck him.
No. The thing is, that scene, when Stormfront was like,
But why does it matter whether heroes have a dick or a vag? I mean, shouldn't we all just, be competent at our jobs?
I was like, yes. This is what I like about The Boys specifically. It's just like they're like one of the few shows and like media that actually parody the woke,
Yeah.
Kind of wokeness of media and the over, sensationalizing, or women and diversity and black and Asian or whatever. And they take the piss out of it. I remember in the first episode when Ashley brought in Blind Spot, the new member of the Seven,
Yep.
the Daredevil clone,
poor
and she's like, a differently abled member of the Seven. It's like soon we'll get a female member and an ethnic member, or if we're lucky, a female ethnic. Yeah, it's like on the nose, but it was needed.
I think chicks and dicks are in it together.
I saw an article, I think it was Kotaku, it was one of those like chill
A
websites.
taco.
And they were all like, "Will Blind Spot be coming back in The Boys?"
Jesus
No.
Christ.
Did you watch it?
He's just a worthless blind guy now.
And I'm just sitting there like reading the articles. It's like, is there a chance that the Blind Spot will come back for revenge on Homelander? It's like, what the hell is he going to do to Homelander?
What's he gonna do?
There was a lot of great lines in this.
You can see every crease in my ass. You can practically see up Starlight's uterus. You want to talk about girl power? Let's talk about getting some pockets.
Maybe one of you guys can tell me, what's the deal with the edible arrangement?
It is pretty much just they just brought it up, then it came up again a second time where it's like, I'm going to die if you don't help me, and she said, well, I'll send an edible arrangement to your funeral. That was basically it. Like, it's really just kind of established to be Butcher's thing.
Raina would love that.
But how did it make you feel?
Terrible.
Hungry.
The Deep listens to his inner voice.
That scene was weird.
In a good way, I think.
I'm pretty sure what they were going for is that the gills were meant to represent vaginas and that he was getting in touch with his feminine self.
I think it was more just his thoughts that he's repressed and what he actually feels, and it's like coming out because of the drugs, and it's coming out in this way that because he wants to hide the gills because he's ashamed of them.
Yeah, yeah.
And his whole imagination's running wild, and it's coming out. The gills are saying, "No, you gotta show us, accept who you are." And
Those gills are
Yeah, I got
fucking disgusting, though. Let's be fucking
yeah,
honest.
he should absolutely hide them. Yeah.
He's fucking cover that shit up.
What?
A-Train is back.
What if I told you he's right behind you?
Exactly.
I wasn't expecting it that soon.
Do you think that his near-death experience has brought him some perspective?
No.
He says it did,
No.
but does it?
Well,
I want to know.
not in a good way.
Sure isn't acting like it.
Yeah.
Well, where's this gonna lead? Because he obviously knows something about Starlight, and
he knows everything about Starlight
he
now.
knows everything about her. So
And Huey. If anything, he's become more vitriolic towards her.
But and then there's also the fact that he's not saying anything about it because of the fact that Starlight blackmailed him.
Yeah.
Even though that's kind of stupid because it's like, oh, they covered up this thing that you did, but if you go and tell people, I'll tell people about this thing that they're already covering up. It's like, okay.
I guess you're right, because they're covering up the autopsy, right, where it broke bone
Yes.
and all this and that and everything. They don't know it's him. They could suspect it's him, I guess, but yeah, they are not
True.
publicly
Yeah.
speaking about it.
Yeah.
Butcher lies to his team, like always, of course.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
here's the thing I'm going to start to take issue with, right? How did he find out where the super terrorist is? It's just a throwaway line about how he got the information from Grace.
That's
I guess.
right. I forgot
It's just
about
a contrivance. Somehow she knows.
Yeah.
She just knows because she's a side character that can help the protagonist. Yay!
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's rough.
Yeah, there was a few on the last episode too. There's 3.
You're only here because you're desperate, fucked, and you want something.
But
I think it's pretty interesting that Stormfront has a very low opinion of Starlight.
I don't need some fucking Vought spy Barbie sniffing around to see whether I'm a team player.
It does make sense though, because they advertised the crap out of her essentially to the point where there's probably a very warped vision of who she actually is to the public.
Yeah.
Because you see all these advertisements of her with perfume or whatever, just random products and such. So it's like a lot of people probably see her as probably a stuck-up influencer, I guess. Through that respect, Stormfront would probably be the public portraying that to her.
You're like the Vaughtiest Vought in all Vought.
Yeah, I just wonder where that's going to lead to. I feel like it's a setup for later that maybe, because Stormfront's kind of a non-conformist anyways, maybe she'll help her at some point.
Just
maybe.
I don't know. I wish I could talk more about Stormfront, but I can't.
She's gonna play a big part. That's all we know.
Oh yeah.
Gecko pulls through with his theft of Compound V to give over to Starlight, who has no pockets. And what does she do with it?
That was weird. So did I miss something in that scene?
I think you missed something.
Okay, because from what I could gather after she retrieved it, is she popped it into Stormfront's bag or something, right?
Yeah, I actually rewatched it, and it is shown on screen that she walks over to the purse, like next to it, when he zips by.
Okay.
And
fair
then
enough.
he basically like Me Too's himself.
Yeah, right.
You know what I thought was gonna happen? I thought like she had planned that and she was like gonna like make a scene and go, "Oh my god, why the fuck are you like groping me or something?"
Yeah, I mean,
and it would have been like, and it would have been posted on like Twitter or something of A-Train like sexually harassing Starlight. This week on TMZ.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, that
really sucks is that if superheroes were real, this is 100% what it would be like.
We're gods.
Becca has a meltdown about Homelander, and I gotta know, who the fuck is
To park now!
Have they introduced him yet? I don't think they have.
No.
Was it? They haven't.
No, like Dr. Park is not the one that
Not the same doctor from the first season.
Homelander. I don't believe so because I'm pretty sure Homelander said he squeezed the truth out of him. I'm pretty sure that he killed that guy.
Yeah.
And the voice did not sound the same at all, so
Yeah, you
it
probably
sounded
right.
like a much younger guy. And it's weird that he had the camera, like he answered the phone immediately when she pulled up. They didn't even have to call him or nothing.
Yeah. I didn't feel like they were going to do anything with him, but maybe they will. I don't know.
It's just a mystery at this point, I think. Like, who is Dr. Park, you know?
Because he has a name, so he's definitely got a little bit more,
Indeed.
I don't know.
And he's definitely in charge of the pretty prison or the gated community or whatever that is. And of course, there's more milk.
Oedipus mode enabled.
What about Maeve? My favorite character. She's obviously a little bit desperate for some maybe human affection, maybe just a relationship in general, but she has to protect herself from Homelander. So.
Oh yeah, she'll turn. Absolutely.
I mean, she's kind of the only one who really stands a chance against Homelander, honestly.
Well, she's the Wonder Woman to his Superman.
Yeah, exactly. So,
what do you guys think the consequences will be to her confessing to Elena?
They found his head in one room and his torso in another.
Homelander?
Oh, she dead.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Elena did. I'll be shocked if she makes it to the end of this season unscathed.
Yeah, I really feel like they're setting that up.
Yeah.
I don't want you to hate me anymore.
Homelander spends quality time with his boy, gifting him a phone. I feel like this is probably a setup that's going to be introduced later when maybe the boy will call him for, I don't know, pick him up because he's sick of his mom's shit. I mean, that's what usually kids call for.
Refer to my previous point. Homelander's insane.
Yes.
Yeah, so he definitely has like a god complex.
That is what we are.
In case it wasn't clear.
Kid's not that great of an actor. Can't really expect that.
Well, that's the thing
I
is
was
like
thinking that.
well, I kind of agree because they cast a different kid too from the end of season one.
Yeah,
I
it's a different
noticed
person.
that. Yeah,
Completely different person.
Yeah, like,
Maybe
It's
maybe
like-
that kid.
You
maybe
went
the
from a
first kid was an
tall
even worse
blonde
actor.
kid to a short brunette kid. It's like what?
I guess.
What happened here?
he used his powers.
I guess the first actor was, I guess, even worse. Who knows?
To be honest, that kid was way too old to be 8 years old, anyways, or way too tall to be.
Yeah.
Spit an image of Homelander.
When they enter into the spirit Halloween, there's only 2 magic bullets that can kill the supervillain.
Hello, thin shot. I only got 2 of these. Well, we better make it count.
Were they trying to kill him?
Yeah, because
Yeah, they were.
Because Butcher tried to shoot him twice and Huey stopped him.
A little bit of a contrivance. Nothing too terrible, but yeah, that is a little.
Yeah, it just solves the problem of why didn't Butcher open a whole clip on him. He only had 2 bullets. A hero destroyed Kimiko's village. Caped Hero came down, killed a bunch of women and children, teachers, and the students. Is he justified in staying with the Shining Light? Should Kimiko join him? Should he join her? What do you think?
Yeah, the Shining Light Liberation Army, whatever they're called, they're not really like a bigger thing now. So it's just kind of like he's just going on a suicide mission and with no clear way to achieve his goal. So yeah, you should just join with Kimiko.
Do you guys have anything else?
Yeah, the tension between Huey and Butcher near the end kind of escalates here.
You come between me and my missus again, I'll fucking kill you.
And then he just takes it kind of like a bitch.
I thought after he got up after being punched, Huey, I thought he was going to walk away. He just kind of looked off into the distance, just kind of defeated, like, oh, I can't do this.
I totally expected him to grow like a wheelbarrow-sized balls and like walk up to the passenger side door and like rip him out of there, punch him in the jaw, and like jump in and be like, "Let's go."
Might have been a bit much.
I would have loved that, but yeah, it probably would have been a bit much because it's like, how far is this gonna escalate? You know?
I imagine there's going to be a pretty big conflict that's going to be coming up here pretty soon. Like,
Yeah,
their
there's gonna be a
interests are
big
not
blow up.
Their interests are not going to
yeah.
align for very much longer.
The other thing I forgot to mention was, after Kimiko's brother runs, Butcher's like, "All right, let's go get him," and the other members of the crew decide not to. They kind of side with Huey.
Yeah.
So they're setting up, or at least they're trying to set up some moral ambiguity between all these things.
Yeah, just a bit of dissension in the group.
It's a new Game of Thrones, you guys.
No, that's Mandalorian. You're thinking of Mandalorian.
On a scale from 1 to 10, what would you rate the character development of this episode?
Character development? It's not inconsistent. I just I don't feel like really that much happened that pushed the characters forward.
We would take a look at like the Deep. He went through his gateway thing. He's getting more in touch with whatever he's going through with
Homelanders.
Homelander's falling back on his coping mechanisms with a new family, his son. I think he's getting more development with his son than anything.
Yeah, that's true.
Huey to get more development with each episode.
Maeve got a little bit.
Kimiko gets the most of it.
You think so?
I think the Deep probably got the most character development in that episode. Even if I think it's kind of dumb in certain ways, like I feel like they're probably doing more with him right now.
You are so beautiful to me.
Stormfront got a ton of character development as we just like see more of who she is. Like it doesn't really change who she is, but we didn't really know that much to begin with. So this is just more into her.
Do not waste your hard-earned cash on this shitty big-titted hunk of plastic. That'll probably end up in a manatee's belly.
Does that change your rating at all, or are you a solid 5?
Yeah, 5.5. High 5. That's what
a little
decimals.
above average. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. Tom, from a scale of 1 to 5.5, what do you think? From a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think of the character development of this episode?
Yeah, I agree that from the first episode, overall, like some bits were kind of stay the same and didn't really progress, and others did slightly progress. I'd give it like a 7.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there at a 7 or so. It's above average. It's not like spectacular where everybody got groundbreaking development, but I can see it progressing for each of the people that were featured in the story.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to the actual plot, and remember that there's 3 plot points, right? The first plot point is the Compound V, right? They're trying to capture it and release it to the public. The second plot point is Huey's trying to take leadership of the boys. And then the third one was
the terrorists. Soup terrorists.
Yeah, the soup terrorists and like the military and all that stuff. On a scale of 1 to 10, where would you guys rate the plot?
I'd say a 7. As we discussed, there were a few contrivances, a few things here and there where they're kind of like not terrible overall. I'd say it was pretty decent.
Yeah, I'd say like an 8. Like things are moving along quite a lot, like with each passing episode. Obviously, the contrivance with Mallory, like giving Butcher the details on where the soup is. It is a contrivance technically because it's not explained really like where she got the information from, but you can kind of assume because the CIA have been looking into the soup terrorist like investigation and they're kind of keeping tabs on it. But yeah, other than that, it was quite solid.
I think you guys are very generous with the plot.
Okay.
I would give it like a 5. I just think it's like
Really?
average. Like nothing really progressed, and the things that were like super contrived. So, and it doesn't break anything, but at the same time, it's like, and it's not inconsistent. But the circumstances that would have to take place for the plot to happen are out there. We didn't talk about at all the world building. Do you think there was anything to the world building here?
I don't really think there was very much in episode 2, really.
I don't think there was time for it.
Yeah.
No, I can forgive that though because there was so much in the first one.
I'm not gonna like criticize it. I just don't think there was any to critique in this. But yeah, this has all been very insightful. We'll continue to upload these videos week by week. Anything else you guys want to leave off with?
Certainly. So, my name's Pendulum, and I have a channel where I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, and the like. Actually, a little bit of news. Might be seeing a review for Truth or Dare here pretty soon. Yeah, it's gonna be good.
All right. Be quiet now. Tom, tell us about your channel, just in case.
Yeah, my YouTube channel is TRCAP, and I only have a couple of videos. It's very, very new, and I have 2 movie reviews of Rise of Skywalker and Birds of Prey, and I'm mainly going to be doing movies, but specific films down the line, very particular about which films I want to review, like either incredibly excellent ones or incredibly terrible ones, mainly terrible ones.
Yeah, I heard Birds of Prey was really good.
You fuck off.
Oh yes, and well, this won't be until next year. But if the Snyder cut of Justice League is as bad as I think it's going to be, I'll do a video on that.
Oh, it will be.
Yeah. Yeah. So I will make a video on it.
Until next time, goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Fuck this world for confusing nice with good.